a piece of garbage. I don't know why they made this movie. Don't recommend it. Don't waste your time. It sucked. Welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, I'm going to be doing my monthly of what I've been watching for the month of January 2026. Please hook me up and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. All right, you know what these are. I do them every month. They are very long, so I'm going to cut right to it and try to not go so long. Let's go. All right, first movie of the year. First 2026 movie I watched was Roofman with Channing Tatum. This is pretty good. I had no idea going into this what this was. Didn't know it was based on a true story where a dude breaks out of prison, runs away, hides out in a Toys R Us, and lives his life. It's pretty interesting. Pretty crazy that it's based on a true story, and just as a movie and a story, it was good. It was very interesting, unexpected, and it was decent. Channing Tatum has definitely won me over the past few years. He's a good actor. He's good in the roles that I've seen him in, and yeah, man, this was a good movie. I definitely recommend that one. Trust. I apparently rented this on Prime. I was looking at this like a couple days ago. I was like, did I watch this movie? I didn't remember. And I like looked at the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, I did watch this. Man, I sometimes I watch stuff and just it flies in one eye out the other. You know what I'm saying with that? I wanted to see this. It looked like a good thriller. From what memory I have of the movie, it was pretty good. This girl gets trapped in the whole lead up to why, but then she gets trapped in this room and she like can't get out. And there's these like people that are robbing the place or something out on the other side. And then I don't want to give spoilers, but she's trying to have to get out of this room before she dies and out of starvation or whatnot in there. It was all right. It was forgettable, apparently. I don't remember that much about it. And, whatever. I don't think it was... Actually, I rated it a 7.1, so it wasn't very good. And I guess I don't recommend that one. Greedy People. I watched this on Starz. This was pretty good. This was an interesting movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt was pretty solid in this. He had a pretty sweet like trucker beard kind of thing going on. It was pretty cool. And basically it's just him and this other cop. There's a call that they go to that goes awry, and then there's some money, and then they're like, oh, we can take this money, and then it's like people trying to get the money, and craziness ensues, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It was definitely entertaining all the way through. It was, good actors, good story, creative, unique story, and yeah, I thought that was solid. The Life of Chuck, not for me. Unfortunately, this is a Mike Flanagan movie. I love Mike Flanagan, but all of his horror stuff, this was super not horror. And this was just the type of movie that I've talked about in multiple videos that I don't like it. It's not for me. Like when your whole movie is like concept stuff, symbolism, metaphor stuff, where it's like, you're not like giving me like a story, just a straightforward story. You're doing all this like dreamy stuff where it's just like you're having to interpret or like decide what you're watching. Like, I don't want to decide what I'm watching. You decide. You make a movie and you tell me what the thing is, dude. I did not enjoy this movie. It was borderline excruciating to get through, quite frankly. And, if you like that type of movie, maybe check it out. There's good actors in it and whatnot, but I did not enjoy that movie. House of Darkness, dude. So I watched this just because of Justin Long. I love Justin Long, especially recently, especially when he's popping up in these horror movies like Barbarian, stuff like that. This is a horror movie where he goes to this house with this girl. They like go home from a bar together to this house, and then they're, basically planning to like murder him or whatever. Dude, there's a point in this movie where she's like, oh, let me go get us drinks and I'll be back. And he calls his buddy who's like at the bar with, and he's like, oh man, dude, I went home with this girl. Yeah, the girl you saw at the bar, like I went home with her. Longest phone call, like it felt like half the movie was this phone call. And I'm like, dude, just hang up, man. She's going to hear everything. And lo and behold, yeah, later she reveals she heard him on the phone, obviously. Because if she's going to get a drink, you're going to be on the phone for like 42 minutes. She's going to come back in that amount of time. She's going to realize you're on the phone, dude. It was wild. It kept doing the thing where it's like, okay, well, I got to go. But then, yeah, that girl. And he kept it going where you're like, dude, hang up the phone. It was blowing my mind. That's like the only takeaway I have from this movie. Other than that, though, Justin Long is great. And it was, I wouldn't recommend the movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, go watch it, but it was interesting, I guess. Stone Cold Fox on Netflix. This was a new movie that just came out. You know, it was okay. It was like a kind of thriller kind of movie where a girl like runs away from home or whatever the situation was and gets taken in by this woman who's like a drug dealer and takes in kind of transient people and kind of treats them like crap, and it's just a bad situation. She's a drug dealer, so then there's also this thing with her sister, so she tries to go find her sister and then save her from all of it, and it was okay. You know, it was the biggest thing this had going for it was the time period it was set in. It was like, and now I don't even remember. It was either 70s or 80s. Maybe it was 70s, I think. Makes sense for the vibe and the aesthetic of the movie and stuff, but it was all right. It wasn't the greatest movie of all time or anything, but it was fine. Project Power, also on Netflix. This was one that came out a few years ago that I just never watched, so I got around to finally watching it, and it was okay. It was kind of like not superhero stuff really, but like there's like a pill you take and it gives you a random power that you don't know what the power is going to be for 5 minutes, and then it's done. But then they're like, bad guys are trying to develop a way to have it be like permanent or whatever. Super not a random power, by the way. That's like the whole like thing of what this movie was. Like, oh, you don't know what you're going to get, you know, because the movie makers at least knew. It's like super planned out what these situations were going to be. Of like all the like set pieces or like action sequences were so based on like what the power was. I don't know. I don't have an example, and I also don't want to spoil the movie. So it's like it was very obviously planned what the power was going to be when this person takes the pill for this particular sequence. So weird that was the claim of it not being known. So I don't know what that was about, but it was entertaining. It was fine. Joseph Gordon-Levitt also was in this one too, and yeah, it was all right. You can check that one out if you want, and if you missed it, you wouldn't be missing that much either. Bone Lake. This one came out on Netflix, so I watched that, and this is a newer movie, and it was pretty decent. It was kind of like a psychological thriller / horror where a couple tricks another couple who goes to stay at this sort of like basically Airbnb type of place and just messes with them and ultimately tries to murder them, and does this with a bunch of other couples, and so you're seeing if this couple can survive and get through it. It was okay. Like, you know, for that type of movie, I'm about that. That's great. Give me that type of movie. Execution of this one, it was decent. It got done when it needed to get done. It just wasn't like anything special or unique. Distorted, trash, just terrible movie. I watched this because Christina Ricci and John Cusack. So John Cusack's in it for 13 seconds. Okay, not sure why he's on the cover and like billed as if he's like the star of the movie. It's a Christina Ricci movie. She's awesome. I love her, so that's fine. But like the movie sucked. The movie was so dumb. Terrible writing, terrible directing and cinematography, everything. It just was a piece of garbage. I don't know why they made this movie. Don't recommend it. Don't waste your time. It sucked. Black Phone 2. I loved Black Phone. I was very surprised. I thought that was going to be kind of maybe not cheesy, but just not very good, and it was excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed Black Phone. The story, the acting was great. So I watched this one, and it was good, but I liked the first one better for sure. But this one was still pretty solid and interesting because they kill the guy in the first movie. So it's like, well, how are they going to have a second movie? They figure it out in a weird way, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it. But, you know, it was pretty good. The ending was the best part for sure. It kind of all culminated into this, you know, how they're going to like handle the situation at the end of the movie. And it was all right. You know, it was fine. Americana. I watched this on Starz. Sydney Sweeney is in this, and Paul Walter Hauser. It was okay. It was kind of, what is this? Like a drama, but with a little bit of thriller vibes in there. There's some action that goes down at the end, some shootout stuff. And it was entertaining, but it wasn't boring, but it wasn't exciting either. It was just kind of like, you know, ho-hum going through, and then there like a crazy scene would pop off or whatever. But it wasn't that crazy, so I don't know. It was pretty mild, not super exciting, and I don't know that I would necessarily recommend that one. The Running Man, oh boy, I did a video on this. Please check that one out. I will link it at the end of this video if I remember to do that. Sucked. God, what a disappointment. This movie sucked. It was not at all related to the original Running Man, which was the biggest annoying factor for me. If you're going to remake a movie, man, pay homage to the movie. Don't just put Arnold Schwarzenegger's face on the dollar bill for one shot, and then that's all you have tied to it. There's a whole thing that movie is, with the video game style killing the bosses and then having the one-liner. That's what The Running Man is. Don't even do that in this movie. Pissed me off. I hate it. Also, screw Glenn Powell. Get out of here. We're done with you. You've been in enough. The it guy moment is over for you. Kick rocks. Predator Badlands also did a video about this one. Holy crap. My favorite, this is a 2025 movie, so I can't say my favorite movie of 2026, but favorite movie I've watched in 2026 so far, for sure. So good. Loved this movie. Rated this the highest of any movie I've watched so far. Rated this a 9. It was so fun and good and just exactly what I want in a movie, and they just nailed it all the way through. Elle Fanning kills it in this movie. I very much enjoyed her performance in this movie. The sound design, everything. Watch my video talking about this movie if you want to. It was so good. The Smashing Machine. I'm not going to say this is a bad movie because it's not a bad movie, but why did they make it? This is one of the more pointless movies I think I've ever seen in my life. I just don't understand why this movie was made. It's not a hero story. It's not a crazy underdog story. It's not a check out what this guy did in the face of this. It's just like, oh, hey, there's like it's like if someone followed you around with a camera for a day or something. Like, nothing's going on, man. Like, no offense, but it's nothing. There's nothing. This movie's not anything. It's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just not about anything, and there's no point to have made this movie. I am baffled why it was made. Never Let Go, pretty decent. Halle Berry, her and her 2 kids out in the woods. She's convinced them that there's an evil out there, so they have to stay in the house or be tied to the house with ropes and try to survive out in this house. And then they start questioning, like, is this real? Like, is there evil? Like, are you just tripping? And then as the audience, you start to get fooled or bring that into question a little bit. And then I won't spoil what happens at the end, but thinking back on it, like, as I was watching it, I was like, this isn't that good, but it's fine. But thinking back on it, it was pretty decent, pretty interesting story, and interesting. There was that similar vibe of like 10 Cloverfield Lane, where you're like, is this guy just crazy and like kidnapping her and being a creep weirdo, or is he like telling the truth? Is there aliens and like stuff outside? And then you like find out at the end, sort of. It's kind of, it's very similar to that in that regard. But it was all right. I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend it, but if you come across it and you need something to watch, it was decent. So check it out. And then Bring Them Down, the last movie I watched in January. Been meaning to watch this one for a while. Waited until it was on Mubi, where I got a free trial of it, and then immediately canceled because Mubi has nothing on it. Nothing. And this thing is $15 a month. What the heck? Like, one of the most expensive streaming services there is, and it has nothing on it that's good. I'm telling you, man, go check it out. Go look at their catalog online and tell me one movie that's known or good. I think this thing, it's like a lot of like Sundance, like movie festival movies, so a lot of them are just not known or whatever. So it's just, I don't know. Definitely cancel that trial after. But this movie was pretty good. It was pretty slow, but it was like pretty gnarly. Basically like a neighbor battle with sheep. People stealing sheep and killing sheep and fighting each other over it. It was all right, but mainly watched this because of the actors, the 2 actors in it, Christopher Abbott and Barry Keoghan. I don't know how you say his name. He's popping off right now. It was good performances for sure, and it was like I said, pretty slow, boring at times, but pretty eventful too when the crazy stuff happened. All right, right over to shows. I know I always say like, oh, I'm gonna make these short, and then they go freaking 25 minutes. So I'm sorry, it is what it is. I watch a bunch of stuff. Billionaires Bunker on Netflix is a foreign show. Very good, surprisingly good. Epic love story that I was super intrigued by and in on, and was like, oh, I want these 2 to get together, like the way it's presented to you, and you're like, oh, will they, won't they? Like, I definitely want them to. And then it's canceled, and I'm so pissed. Canceled on a cliffhanger. So I would say if this weren't canceled, I would super recommend this. It was very good. It was surprisingly good. But because it's canceled, I super don't recommend it because you're just going to be pissed off because of the cliffhanger and then you don't get to see what happens next. And I hate that. What are you doing? It's Netflix. Just do it. What? The White Lotus, I watched all 3 seasons, powered through this one. This is one I didn't watch for the longest time, and multiple people saying how good it was. And I was like, it can't be good. It's just nothing. It's just people sitting around. What is that? You have to have stuff happen for me to be entertained. Well, I was dead wrong. Watched it. Stuff certainly happens. Also, just the drama and the writing of when stuff doesn't happen and just what you're watching with these characters is just very good, very well done, very well written, very good performances and storylines and things that are going on. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this show. Like I said, I powered through and watched all 3 seasons because I just wanted to, because it was just very engaging and good, and it was solid. I recommend it. If you haven't checked that out, check it out for sure. It's Florida Man. I just watched season 1. I'm in season 2 right now. It's all right. This is basically like Drunk History, where someone's like telling a story, but it's like a person in Florida with these crazy headline stories, and then they have the comedic actors like reenacting sections of it, like they're cutting back and forth, and as the guy's narrating the story, they're like acting it out. I wish this was better. It's a great concept. Drunk History was really funny. But this is just like, I feel like they missed it, man. Like, the reenactment performances are just like way too over the top and way too like weirdly sparse, where it's just like one little shot here and there instead of like watching the whole story. And it's just like over the top in like an awkward cringe way a lot of the times, where it's not funny. It's just like more cringe than funny. And it's just kind of a bummer that it isn't as good as I was hoping it would be. They're real quick 20-minute episodes. So, if you want to check one or two out, a couple of them are okay, but a few of them are just not very good. Hard Knocks, in season with the NFC East. I watch Hard Knocks all the time. I'm an NFL fan, and I always watch those. So that was fun to watch that. I always like getting the inside look at the players and the coaches and some of these people I like never even hear talk unless I watch an interview here or there or whatever. But then like seeing them like behind the scenes of just being who they are is just cool and fun for a fan. And yeah, enjoyed that, as I always enjoy those seasons. Pluribus, did a video on that. Check out my video on that one. I liked this. It was great. Definitely had some criticisms of it, but not anything huge. This at the end of the day, this was a good show. Great quality, great acting, and I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 to see what they do. House of the Dragon, finally got around to watching this one, and pretty good. It took me a minute to kind of get into it. It's they're hour and 15-minute episodes, so there's that. And there's a lot of like talking and standing around, so some of it can be slow at points, but once you just get into it and get the characters and then see what they do, and then they do a good job advancing time, so you're following these characters through time, and like you get more invested and things start to pay off a little bit. So I definitely got into it, but kind of midway through, and then I'm pretty stoked on it now that I finished season 2. Season 3 will be coming out this year, and I am excited to see where it goes, because they're leading up to this war, but it's leading up. Hey, how about the war? Let's do the war now. Right? It's time for the war. Although, I don't know if we'll have a war now based on what happened in season 2. We'll see. And then finally, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Dude, I wanted to watch this forever. Couldn't, because you had to like buy it. And then suddenly it's on Starz, and I still, by the way, I need to cancel my Starz subscription. I still have that. So I was like, I can watch this. Yeah, I'm so glad I watched this. Dude, I love the Evil Dead movies and Army of Darkness. That trilogy is so fun, especially Army of Darkness and a little bit Evil Dead 2, where they start being like, forget horror. Like, this is kind of like, let's embrace the comedy factor of this, because people are like laughing at the like campy like cheese of the horror in the first one. Let's dive into that and like make this dude just a silly comedy character. And like I love that. I love those movies. They're classics. I watch them at Halloween sometimes. So having them come back and do 30 years later, this is what this guy is up to. They're short, quick hitter, 25-minute episodes. They're packed with just fun blood, gore, blood flying out. It's all over the top, crazy practical effects with the blood and the gore. Comedy hitting left and right. Some of the writers on this show are like writers or guys I recognize from like comedy podcasts and stuff like this, like people that were writers from Workaholics, the show that I really liked a lot, and they do a great job with the jokes and the comedy in this show and staying true to the character and the world. Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi are involved in this, and Ivan Raimi's actually in it for a few episodes, and the vibe carries over from Army of Darkness to this, and some of the shots and everything and the style of shooting is similar and harkens back to those movies. And it's just, I'm just having a great time watching this. I've watched 2 seasons so far. I'm in the 3rd and I think final season right now, and it is just so fun. I'm having a great time with this show. Super fun. If you like those movies at all, highly recommend this. It's kind of also, it's a similar thing of like how there was the Karate Kid movies, and then years later they did Cobra Kai, like a continuation of years later. Certainly a different vibe and style of show, but similar concept there, where it's like picking up with this dude 30 years later, and then man, I very much enjoy it. Very much recommend that if you like Evil Dead movies, for sure. And that's it. Sorry, that probably was pretty long, but those are all the movies and shows I watched in January. Some great ones, a couple bad ones for sure, ones to avoid there, but some great ones I do recommend. And, watch them. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, please leave a comment. Let me know if you watched any of these and what you thought of these and what you want me to cover next. Stay tuned. Until next time,